program.
A lot, is it?
Hang on, move. We're not on yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
Heavens, I've gone and ruined everything now. Just get off. Lovely, get off. Right, here we go. Welcome to the program. A little later, we will we'll be looking at good food for pushy people, these Aucklanders. Good food for hard times. But first, something rather unusual. In fact, even controversial. Now, this all started today, ladies and gentlemen, quite by chance when Amcam Pete, was out on his own this time in Colombo Street, filming some promos for Carnival Week. And while he was filming, he saw something very strange. Now, just have a look at this. Watch this. Here's Pete filming, a couple of young ladies, sees suddenly some strange gentlemen. Watch this. Watch what happens. So Pete follows them. Just watch this.
Okay, just stay here out of sight, all right? I think we're pretty inconspicuous here. See, what I reckon, Louis, see, this is the way I see this. This is a nice wee story. I'm surprised, actually. It's quaint, you know? It's not too big, but it's quaint, you know what I'm saying? But I don't see no need for none of this. I mean, like when we have the casino, we just clear all this out of the way, you know what I'm saying? I get you and the boys to do that, huh? You listening to me, capiche? You do that, Louis, huh? Okay. Hey, you get the feeling we're being watched here? Somebody's looking at us. Okay, just come around here, babe. Come around here, babe. Okay, just keep out of sight here. See what I think? See what I reckon here? We just clear all this merchandise away, you know what I'm saying? Just get it all out of the way, huh? There is somebody watching us, I'm sure of it. I'm sure there is. Can you see nobody? I can't see nobody. Just clear all this merchandise away, like I say. Put the roulette tables over there. Put the crap tables over there. Pinball machines over here. Like, I think that's really nice. Maybe over there, a stage for the strippers. And you and the boys, you can have a room to oil your guns and keep your Chicago pianos in the corner, right? Okay, okay. Louis, there's something I got to tell you, all right? I like you, capiche? I really like you. But you say too much. Okay, let's go make the mayor an offer she can't refuse, all right? Come on.
This is the wheel, ready? Ready. This is the wheel. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. This is the wheel. Hey, wait a minute, guy. What's this? Louis, make him an offer he can't refuse, all right? Heavens above. Quite appalling. Quite appalling. And we're glad to say that Pete survived, absolutely unscathed. I'm also happy to say that we were at the Farmers today in an entirely separate matter. I was there totally separately. And we ran into Ken Milland, who's the manager at the Farmers and a really good guy. And he asked us to reassure all you FTC Farmers customers that Farmers is not closing next week, in spite of the rumours, nor is it closing next month, nor is it closing next year. Relax, don't worry. Even if the building is sold to those gentlemen you may have seen then, Farmers itself will remain trading and on the site for at least 2 years. So you've got heaps of time to charge in and buy everything you want. And by the way, I think also, Pete, yes, we have to thank, somebody has to thank the Victoria Square Pharmacy for the eyewear. Right, okay. Now these days, most people know what prime time is. In television, this time is prime time, which confuses me because we're on. But in radio, breakfast is prime time. It's when the biggest audiences tune in and then when the radio superstars strut their stuff. Now, one man who could be called, I think, for years, the most super of the superstars, #1 for 20 years plus in the biggest market in the country, Auckland, Mr. 1ZB, until Paul Holmes took over. I'm talking, of course, about a man synonymous with Good Morning Radio, Merv Smith. Merv,
never say such big words in the morning.
Now
Jim.
you're
We're
on.
talking now.
You are on now.
Nearly ruined the show there. Yes.
Absolutely.
Good evening, Jim, and good evening,
Canterbury.
Canterbury.
To leave.
What about the pay?
Absolutely not.
Have you making enough to pay you? I mean, that's the thing, isn't it?
Not really, no.
No, you think of going back to radio?
But when your cheque for interviewing you comes in, we'll probably just break even for the month.
Break even for the month.
Now look, you were #1 plus, I should say, for
Be careful, yeah.
20 years or more. You're still on air in Auckland, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, look at that. FM Country.
I thought it was a silicon transplant.
No, that's over the other side because my...
Show it again, we didn't get a shot. The camera was a bit slow. Pan it, zoom in, Dave.
Zoom in?
There we are, FM.
Whoa, FM Country, that's it.
Yes.
100 on your little dial in Auckland. That's,
yes.
It's a country music radio station, 24 hours a day. A friend and I have been working on this for about 9 years, and we've had a hell of a job getting it to air, but we finally did. We've had to do all sorts of deals and wheels, but we finally got some country music on air 24 hours a day in Auckland.
That's the thing that staggers me, I have to say, is that there are not more country stations in the country. If you look particularly at the South Island, you'd have thought that a country radio station here would have cleaned up.
Well, I think the problem is that the radio industry runs scared of country music, quite frankly. They have no faith in their ability to transmit country music successfully in this country. Most radio organisations, as far as I can see, know nothing about country music, so therefore they can't get the experts to do it. So the best thing they can possibly do is, forget it, just forget it. Well, no, the research says no. And the research, in fact, says, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
But if they've not got experts, to hell with it. That'll be their attitude, yeah.
That's right. Now, that actually, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because it leads me on to the next question. Your views on radio are fairly well known. And fairly scathing. You've made some pretty damning comments over the years about
what did I say?
expert-driven media.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, formatics, liner notes and all that. I mean, radio stations...
Now, just explain those to people who don't know.
Well, a liner note is one of those ghastly things where every 10 or 15 minutes or something like that, an announcer will say, because he better say it or there'll be trouble, you're listening to XFM, the beautiful, smooth music you hear 24 hours a day. Now, he will say that, and that's because he's required to. 20 minutes later, he'll be required to say another totally soporific thing like that. I mean, it depends what sort of radio station it is. And I say that's all rubbish, because if the radio station's doing its job properly, it doesn't need to say that. And if it isn't doing its job properly, all the rubbish liner notes in the world are not going to make people think it is. So
I often think that radio as a creative medium is run by some very uncreative people.
I'm afraid I think so
who
too.
buy Californian expertise to basically
they have, you're right. Look,
push
Jim,
the west coast of America.
They have that smile. I knew this guy with the blue blazer, the buttons. He was so cool. Call me Merv. You know, what about calling it not 1ZB Auckland? What about calling it Auckland 1ZB? What do you guys think of that? And we said, oh, well... That's what it was called. That's what it was called from then on. And I think to myself, what a load of old rubbish. We didn't quite get to the liner notes at that stage, but we've got some terrible music out of it.
Sorry, carry on.
No, I finished because you'll let me go all night.
Well, I will, yes. We mustn't wind you up too much, because in fact, I was going to say, time marcheth on.
Oh, does it?
And it is not radio that bringeth you down to Christchurch.
It is not. It is the Big Tin budget.
You're on another track altogether, aren't you?
That's right. You're quite right. It's a row. Can I...
Yes.
Do you like that, Jim? I would present it to you, but it's the only one I've got. No, actually, I'm down here for the Model Railway exhibition, and it's also a mini Model Railway convention. Yes. And what happens is that there's a Model Railway exhibition. They put these on last year, and the money that's made goes back into the hobby. It's put on by Iron Horse Hobbies. They're the main sponsors for the company here. Where's my T-shirt?
You've got the T-shirt.
I have to
flash the T-shirt.
Yeah, I got to flash the T-shirts. I've got to.
Old radio habits never die.
Don't forget the logo. That's important.
So, and you've got one of the most exciting and lovely model railway setup in the country, haven't you? I've seen film of it.
A lot of fine model railroaders would say exactly the opposite, but I have an interesting model railway, and I'm very deeply into the hobby, yes.
Which you bought down?
No, I did not. I only bought down some little bits of rolling stuff. No, you're quite wrong. No, I didn't bring it, Jim. No, it's sort of in a basement. It is the basement of the house, and there's no room for it. But I bought down some little bits and pieces, and they'll be on display during the convention.
How long is it going to run, Mary?
Oh, it runs... how long is it going to run, Jim? It's tomorrow. I don't have all the details here, you see. Yeah, okay.
Saturday, Sunday,
that's the model. Yeah, that's right, it is. It's Saturday the 9th and Sunday the 10th. No. Is that tomorrow and the day after?
Right. Yep.
From 10 a.m. to 5 on Saturday, 10 to 4:30 on Sunday. Why 4:30?
I have no idea.
It's Sunday. It's Christchurch Sunday. That's
we'll have to pursue that matter at another time in another place. Merv, I hope you enjoyed the 2 days that you have spent down here
I
with
like
the trains.
Christchurch. I love it. I see a lot more of Christchurch than I do of Wellington for all the best reasons in the world. And I like Christchurch. I like the town. I like the people here. And God damn it, Jim, I even like you.
Mervyn, thank you.
How easy I am.
Quite enough. Oh, cut. Right, the Model Railway exhibition, which will feature Merv Smith and huge numbers of other people and trains, is on at the Horticultural Hall in Hagley Park on Riccarton Avenue. If you're heading west from the hospital, you'll see the banners on the left-hand side of the road, and that's Saturday and Sunday this weekend. Check it out. It should be a lot of fun, especially if you're a train buff or chuff, as is the case with Merv. And thank you very much. We'll be back to stay on your chuffs till we return after the break.
The countdown begins.
We're doing what we have to, and if we have to do more, well, I pray to God that we have the courage to do more.
Tempers flare.
The government today has ordered the shutdown of the nation's nuclear-fueled power plants.
The world watches in disbelief as its leaders speed toward a nuclear exchange.
As soon as we're able, we'll bring you more information from Mick Boyle on the Nimitz.
A countdown to oblivion. Countdown to Looking Glass, Saturday at 8:30 on CTV.
If you see someone in trouble, don't look the other way. Get right in and say, do you need a hand? Be the first to say, do you need a hand?
Canterbury Draft Limited, proud sponsors of the New Zealand Cup.
Go beyond the boundaries of the everyday world with Skylab. Explore the galaxy, investigate the secrets of science, follow in the footsteps of the great inventors. Over 50 types of binoculars from $85, telescopes from $99, microscope sets from $39. See the universe, travel with Skylab. 172 St Asaph Street, near Colombo. Skylab, broadening your horizons.
Dining out? Sail into the Pegasus Arms and enjoy a feast of renowned fresh New Zealand cuisine in a relaxed restaurant atmosphere, or try the light taste of a home-style counter lunch. The Pegasus Arms, now open for your Christmas bookings. Phone 660 600. Cameron Smith Chemists has the most competitively priced fragrances from Yves Saint Laurent, Chanel, Oscar de la Renta, Lancôme and many more. Now the first 10 people to buy our Perge or Opium perfumes get a free matching talcum powder. Only at Cameron Smith Chemists in Hereford Street.
DB South Island Brewery Limited, putting our strength to work in the mainland.
Edward Woodward is Callan, the secret agent with the heart of gold, keeping an eye on a dodgy professor with secrets for sale, with a little help from a friend. But it seems the man he should have been watching is lonely. Trouble looms for Callan and his masters.
Professor Rose has reported a break-in at his house to the local police.
Then I'm arresting both of you for breaking into a house at Fairfax Road, Hampstead, and stealing this figure.
Lonely's light fingers land everyone in trouble. Callan, Sunday at 8:30 on CTV.
Welcome back, and it's time to meet now somebody who intends to give the lie to two rather well-worn cliches about food. One, that New Zealand cuisine is boring, and two, that to eat well costs a lot. False and false is Cheryl Brownlee, and to prove it, she's written a book on each subject. Cheryl, thank you very much for joining us, and good evening. Now, these are the two books here, aren't they? I'll just hold them up so poor old Dave can get a good shot. We've got Budget Stretching Meals and Classic Kiwi Recipes. Now, the first question I have to ask you is, why write them? I mean, I would have thought there were enough recipe books already.
No, not for the New Zealand public. They love recipe books, but these books are written basically to fill a need. Okay. The Budget Stretching Meals, Jim, I think can be described as a book for, let's say, teenagers, yes, those that haven't got the built-in cooking skills that you may have, or I may have, written for those that want basic, good, wholesome New Zealand food.
Sure, yeah. Simple formulas, inexpensive, but easy to do.
That's right, not having to rush out and buy a tremendous amount of herbs, spices, flavourings, that in this day and age is extremely expensive.
So to be for people perhaps living alone, or maybe
people,
you know, one other parent who doesn't do the cooking most of the time and gets lumbered with it. People on holiday perhaps, as you say, students, those sorts of groups.
People that have a budget, need to stick to a budget. We've put in ideas on when to shop.
Now tell me about that. That fascinated me when I read this.
Well, basically,
amplify that a bit.
You don't shop at supermarkets when you're hungry, because everything looks more appetising and you're more tempted to rush out and buy things. Be very aware, and the supermarkets might not like this idea, but specials are there for their convenience, not always your convenience. And so the time of when you shop, say in the morning before it gets too crowded, can make a great deal of difference to the amount of money you spend.
I found also that if you go at a weekend, say, especially at the end of the day, very often some quite good things are on special because they'll go off if they're not bought that day.
That used to be the case when we reverted back to 2 days holiday, but now with Sunday shopping, especially in the larger areas, that's not happening quite the same.
It still happens a bit though, I think. But anyway, yes, I take your point. It is a fair comment, and I think those other points you make are probably more pertinent. Let's look at the classic recipes one for a moment. Now, this one I think would be aimed at people who sort of want to go back. This is nostalgia cooking, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. All right, it's solid New Zealand food. But people say, do you remember when Aunt Sally made that fabulous steam pudding, or Great Aunt Agnes could make a pavlova better than anyone else?
Yeah.
So it's aimed at those that want the older type New Zealand recipes, let's say pre-50s.
Right. And you've actually collected these, haven't you, from a whole range of sources? The thing that fascinates me is where you've got some of them from Aunt Daisy, I know.
Aunt Daisy's cookbook,
and
yes.
some from a wartime ration book.
From the Red Cross Wartime Ration Book, the Victoria League have all given us copyright to a number of their recipes.
What's the Victoria League, Cheryl?
It's an Auckland-based organisation. I don't know a lot of the details, but the book that I've got's dated 1926.
Right, so these are really recipes from the back of the cupboard, so to speak.
That's right.
I was going to say out of the ark, but that's quite
no, that's
absurd, isn't it? Preposterously stupid.
Yes.
Right, yes. Now, so here we've got wartime recipes, we've got Aunt Daisy's recipes, and as you say, this is for the nostalgia buff. Of all of these, which is your favourite?
I would have to say, because of the history, the New Zealand sponge cake. The sponge cake with the whipped cream and the strawberries for afternoon tea.
Right,
it's got to be a or maybe the pavlova. I mean, that's Australian, New Zealand?
Well, we won't get into that. The other nice thing about sponge cake is if you've got kids, it's really good to have sponge cake fights at birthdays.
Is that right?
I did once.
You
it was
did?
the hit of the years. Well, I kept on getting asked for encores, but I've never gone into them. Now, look, one thing I have to say, and with both these books that I thought was really helpful was that in none of the recipes do you need scales.
That's right. That's something we went through. You can cut butter in 50 or 100 grams off the edge of the pack, but we've gone through, we've cooked all the recipes up, and we've kept them as near as possible to the original recipes, but we've used half cup measures, so you don't have to rush out and buy scales.
Right. Cheryl, thank you very much. There they are. I'll just turn around the right way. Budget stretching meals and classic Kiwi recipes, both by Cheryl Brownlee. They're available now. And where microwaving is appropriate in regard to these recipes, that's referred to as well. So now you've got no excuse for not eating well, cheaply, and reviving some of the best recipes of yesteryear. Cheryl, thank you very much.
Thank you very
much. And good luck with the cooking and the writing. We'll be back after the break with more food, incidentally.
He's a driver on his way to the top. Paul Newman has Joanne Woodward in his sights.
I came out here because I like you. And I just wanted the chance to tell you.
She likes him enough to marry him, but she also marries the track. And does she love him enough to stay faithful? While his personal life falls apart around him, the only thing that matters is to go on winning. Winning tonight at 8:30 on CTV.
Doing it with style.
Get ready to entertain this summer with the Renai Entertainer Barbecue. Top New Zealand made quality to barbecue with the best of them for just $580, including a 5 kg cylinder and a 12-month warranty. Only at Swimjoy Products, Corner Fitzgerald and St Asaph.
Draft Limited, proud sponsors of the New Zealand Cup.
Howdy, y'all. You should ring these guys today if you want a professional carpet and upholstery cleaning job done. They'll even deodorize free. So call JR or American Carpet Cleaners today. Between them, they'll clean up this town.
The Moving Company.
Are you worried about shifting? Nah, not with the moving company.
Moving can be child's play if you contact the Moving Company. For shifting anywhere in New Zealand or moving overseas, the Moving Company has the friendly expertise. Call the Moving Company. It'll be the smartest move you'll ever make.
I knew the moving company would take care of my precious tea set. They're very good, aren't they?
Now you
Adventists invite you to visit church this weekend.
It's another chance to see a devil of a good show. A fireworks extravaganza in Lucifer's Night Out, Saturday at 8 on CTV.